Good evening, class. My name is Ayana Washington, and my article review will focus on Chapter 7 Improving Human Resources Management. The article I used came from the Forbes website, and it's titled JP Morgan Chase Hired 2,100 People with Criminal Records in 2018 and Will Hire More. This article was fairly short yet very informative. By looking at the title, some may automatically assume that JP Morgan's human resource personnel has completely lost it. However, that is quite the contrary. I will discuss the effectiveness of developing and implementing an effective HR philosophy, hiring the right people, and how keeping employees happy relate to this article. Furthermore, I will discuss why companies should invest and empower their employees. Bowman and Deal advises that strong companies know the kinds of people they want to hire and those that fit the mold. In that aspect, most companies do, whether you are in a um, for-profit organization, a non-profit organization, no matter what the company is, um, a company knows the person that has that it factor, that thing that they're looking for, and that one thing that stands out amongst others. However, in this aspect, JP Morgan has decided to go against the grain when it comes to hiring people with a criminal background. On page 137, Bowman and Deal advises that changes in the business environment have made human resources management more critical than ever. JP Morgan has decided to make a decision that most top companies wouldn't make. Applicants with criminal records are being considered for entry level positions, and those positions are positions such as account servicing and transaction processing. Regardless of one's criminal background, the main objective for top performing companies should be to get the right person for the right position. Um, there are several basic human resource strategies that will benefit companies from an HR standpoint. These strategies will yield effective results for the organization as a whole. These strategies can be found on page 138, and I'm going to just go over them because I feel like they are very important um, for from a human resources standpoint, as well as the focus of this article. The first one is build and implement an HR strategy. By this, companies are given the task of developing and sharing a clear and concise philosophy for managing people. I do feel that the managing of people should be the same across the board, meaning that just basic employees, supervisors, managers, whatever the case may be, everyone should be awarded the same opportunities. The next one, hire the right people. Um, Companies know what type of people they want. Like I said previously, they're gonna look for a person that has that it factor that they feel like will value their company, and also people that they feel have the education and experience in that area for which they're hiring for. Keep them, reward employees. I think that's a big one. Um, if a if an employee is always on time to work, always doing a great job at their work, staying on task, and everything, I do feel like those employees need to be rewarded. Um, for me, I've worked for a company that did reward us fairly well as far as bonuses, feeding us great food, I must say. And I worked for companies that I put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, brought in a lot of innovative ideas, and no matter how much me as an employee or my former colleagues put into that job, it was just there was just no kind of rewards. I mean, really, the only reward you got was a paycheck for putting in your hard work. So if you work for a company and they reward anybody that works for a company that gives out rewards for the hard work, you definitely appreciate that company. It makes you want to get up and go to work. Empower them. By doing that, you can provide information and support. That's a big one. And that information and support could be from the implementation of certain policies, um, answering questions related to human resources, like healthcare, wages, and stuff like that. And I also remember a couple of weeks ago, one of my peers, and I may not get this all the way correct, but I do remember her posting or commenting on a post and talking about how her at her job the policies are always changing, yet they don't always get the updates for the policy changes. And I just feel like that's a little absurd to me, because I just feel like with any company, if policies are constantly changing, the people, especially the employees, they need to know those policy changes. And it shouldn't be like a word of mouth thing. It should be, something in writing. And then the last one is promote diversity, and that's holding managers accountable, as well as being explicit and consistent about the organization's diversity philosophy. And I'm going to touch on that a little later on during this session. Per the article, the U.S. loses up to $87 billion annually in GDP by excluding people with a criminal record, and that's kind of alarming. From the workforce, on page 138, Bowman and Dale advises that organizations benefit from a talented, motivated, loyal, and free-spirited workforce, which means an applicant's background shouldn't completely exempt them from receiving certain positions in which the applicant meets the organization's minimum requirements. Bowman and Dale states that a good workplace is serious about treating everyone well, and this kind of relates to the promoting diversity under the basic human resource strategies. Workers as well as executives should be treated well. Women as well as men, Asians, African Americans, and Hispanics as well as whites, gays as well as straights, and all employees and applicants deserve a fair chance in the workforce. Um, that's a big one for me because I feel like most companies are diverse, but there are a few companies um, that are not diverse. I just feel like everyone should be given a fair chance in the workforce, no matter what your ethnicity is, your sexual orientation. That doesn't take away from an individual being able to efficiently do a job. A efficient human resource team promotes diversity and develops an overall ethical work climate. In 1994, Denny's restaurant suffered a public relations disaster in which $54 million was paid to settle a discrimination lawsuit. And that can be found on page 152 if you would like to read up a little more about it. According to the Pew Research Center, as of April of 2019, Black and Hispanic of the jail, sorry, Black and Hispanic people make up 56% of the jail population, leading experts to believe the groups are unfairly discriminated against during the hiring process. Many organizations are reluctant to invest in developing human capital, and that can be found in the text on page 144. Training employees have a immediate cost, but the benefits are more long term. And that's another thing. I guess that can fall more under the investing in employees by going ahead and taking care of that front cost or upfront cost of training an employee the right way. It does have its long term effects. Um, Another effective way to keep employees is by promoting from within. That also plays a huge part in effective human resource organizations. Promoting employees from within have several advantages, and they can be found on page 142. And I'm not going to read all of them. However, I did want to touch on a few of them. Um, Promoting employees from within encourages both management and employees to invest time and resources in upgrading skills. No matter what company you're in or what your position is within that company, you're always going to learn something new. Things are constantly changing within companies, outside of companies, policies, the actual work itself. So, investing that time and the resources and getting better is just something that most, if not all, employees should always take advantage of. It is a powerful performance incentive, which it is. If you're doing well within a company, it would be beneficial for them to promote you from within because you're already used to the company. I guess you can say you already have that experience. You're aware of the company's history. It fosters trust and loyalty. This is a big one. I've worked for companies in the past that they couldn't keep people, and it's because they would bring people outside of the agency in to give them these managerial positions, but they didn't have the training, versus you had people on the inside with the training that were overlooked, and in turn that kind of made them go to other agencies where they felt like they would be able to get promoted and move up and grow within the company. It capitalizes on the knowledge and skills of veteran employees, which is it does. If you've been with a company 10 plus years versus someone coming in fresh off the street, or has had a year to two of experience, those veterans are very knowledgeable on not only the company itself, but the workload. So to me, I feel like it would be beneficial to promote from within. Avoids errors by newcomers unfamiliar with the company's history and proven ways. I know in every company the work is different, and I also know that every employee is different, and most employees, all employees, find their own way to do things. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but what I am saying is a person coming in will not be as effective as a person who's been within a company 10 plus years, that actually work and do a great job. And then the last one is it increases the likelihood that employees will think for the longer term and avoid impetuous, short-sighted decisions. Highly successful corporations rarely hire a chief executive from the outside. Less effective companies do so regularly, and that is so true. A lot of um, less effective companies or smaller businesses, they do tend to hire outside of the organization, which is not always proven to be a good business decision. As a company, JP Morgan has made a great ethical and economically sound decision by having its human resources team accept and open for hiring people with a past. This article isn't specific on what crimes are exempt. However, given those who possess the experience and educational requirements who may have made a bad choice at a young age, it's commendable. Um, Companies that overlook people with a past are more prone to have productive workers, and those are workers that will be there for the long run. Overall, improving human resource management benefits the organization in its entirety. Progressive organizations such as JP Morgan implements a variety of highly involved strategies to improve human resources. Human resource management and strengthen its bond between the employee and the organization. My question to you, um, and I have two. The first one, if you were a human resource manager, would you be opposed to hiring those whom have had a criminal background? And also, please elaborate on what things would you not exempt on a person's criminal background? And then, secondly, what do you feel are the most effective ways to improve human resource management? I hope that you all like this session. Please don't forget to comment on everything. I look forward to reading your comments about the whole process. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.